What's up, Aries? Welcome to my channel, Tarot by the Intuitive Teacup. For my returning people, you can tell I'm in kind of an awkward new setup, just temporarily. I'm on a little vacation with my family, and we're at the lake house, which is phenomenal, only I'm still trying to figure out where is the best place to do some tarot. So anyway, what's up, guys? Aries, this is going to be your career and finances spread. The beginning, I will say the majority of it is going to be career, finances, jobs, internships, retirements, anything that wants to come through in that arena. At the very end, I'll wrap up with some love messages. If you are interested, stick around to the end. Let's see what we can get for my Aries out there. For all my newbies, welcome. It does not usually look like this. We got some mad Scottish pride going on. Yay! Anyway, for the newbies, I do general messages here on YouTube, so not everything I say will resonate with you. That's my major disclaimer. If it feels strange or foreign, drop it like it's hot. It might not be your message this time around, but also give yourself the luxury of time. Allow the messages to resonate with you, because sometimes things will resonate or even be manifested in a few weeks, in which case, something in this reading may actually connect with you, is sort of what I'm trying to say. Good Lord. Let's try and be eloquent here. All right. Everything else about this video will be down in the description box below, including the decks I'm using here today, as well as my social media channels. I am the Intuitive Teacup on Facebook and Instagram, as well as .com. Like, share, subscribe wherever you can, including on this video here today. That helps me a whole lot. And that's about it. That's kind of what you need to know about this reading. Let's get a few more decks to shuffle, and we'll hop in for my Aries. Messages for Aries. Happy Cancer season. We're in that watery Cancerian energy, which is sometimes a little bit awkward from a fire signs, right? That opposite elemental, fire and water, but good time to spend with the family, being vulnerable, expressing, your heart's desire, things you love to the people you love. That's Cancer season, right? And then watch that moody temper. And I'm allowed to say it because I got a lot of Cancer in my chart, so I know how that can be. All right, cool. Let's hop in for my Aries gang. And thanks for your patience. I know it took me a while to crank this one out for you, but I'm here and we're going to do it. So, the Hangman, you are potentially, there's a couple messages coming through here. The metaphor of like fishing, trying to catch something in your net. So a lot of you may be putting out applications for a new job. And quite literally, you may be kind of being kept in limbo or hanging whether or not you're going to hear back. If you would all relate to that message, what's following the Hanged Man is the Wheel of Fortune. So positive change and movement, destiny, fate. I mean, the Wheel of Fortune doesn't really have a negative connotation. There may be slow progress. I'm almost getting, the way it's depicted almost as like the wheel of a ship. There's resistance when you go against the water. And again, that may be a timestamp of Cancer season. It might be slow to come into fruition, but then after Cancer season, we're in Leo season, and something about that I think is going to bring like the blessing of a new cup. So potentially a new job offer, or if it's not a job offer, if you've been trying to sort of throw your name in the hat for anything, right? If it's a project, if it's an assignment, if it's maybe a title change, it feels like, I mean, with the Wheel of Fortune and the Ace of Cups, that clearly says things are going to go in your favor. But you may be feeling quite uncomfortable though right now, because you are sort of in limbo, like caught in the net, right? I'm sorry, the lighting is so bad. But yeah, I mean, it's headed in a positive direction. So to this, I would say don't give up. Don't quit. Don't assume you missed your chance or your opportunity. It could be that the opportunity you're holding out for, even if that doesn't come into fruition, things are still going to go in a positive direction. And there's something about an opportunity that comes in that is celebratory. Three of Cups, it could be that you're going to get to work with a team or a group of people you really like. It could be your friends, your family, your soul tribe, whatever that is. There's reason to celebrate, and it's almost saying in Cancer season, if you are in a delay or waiting back, or waiting to hear back on news or an announcement or potentially a job offering, it's saying enjoy the lull, spend time with people you love, do activities, I know we're kind of sort of in quarantine, right? But do activities that you can that bring you joy. I mean, you have a lot of water in the spread, and granted it is Mermaid Tarot, but Ace of Cups and Three of Cups, beautiful energy. This is all about celebrations, reunions. In a romantic spread, it's like going out on a date. It's doing things that make your heart happy. So then after that, though, you have Three of Swords. So that's kind of the wah-wah of the spread. So let's see what that's about. So I will say, Three of Swords, if any of my Aries out there relate to the message of going into a career that involves healing in some capacity, that's confirmation that your healing energy is needed. And so again, if you're applying to any sort of, it could be spiritual healing, it could be medical healing, right? If you relate to that idea of being a healer of any kind, particularly to animals, something about that, it's just confirmation that career as a healer, that looks like it's going to work out in some capacity. Tell me more about this Three of Swords and Aries career spread. Now, I got to be honest, there's no pentacles here, right? And in pentacles, I like to see pentacles in a career spread because frequently that does indicate money. But you do have the Wheel of Fortune, again, the Ace of Cups and the Three of Cups. This to me is celebrating. A toast, a cheers in your name, in your honor. So what are we celebrating, right? I mean, whatever that is for you, whatever you're hoping for, whatever your almost wish fulfillment is, wish fulfillment as the Star card comes out, yeah, something is coming in, but you're not supposed to know about it yet. There's a little bit of secretive energy. This is a card of Pisces, by the way. I don't know if Pisces or Aquarius may factor into this, particularly someone who has both in their chart. You know, these are cusp signs, Aquarius into Pisces. Yes, something, especially in a group dynamic, especially if you're working in a group dynamic of 3 Aries, you may be working with, and that could even be your birth chart too, the way they all fall in a line, Aquarius, Pisces, Aries. I don't know if that has to do with a specific, like, like a season or something about that, but yeah, I'm not sure, but that's very peculiar in a good way, the way all those cards are falling. The Wheel of Fortune. Wheel of Fortune, it's positive motion. Anyway, let me get, as I sidetrack here. Bottom of your deck is the Moon, which does talk about things that exist in our subconscious needing to be brought out into the light. But when we're in Moon energy, you know, it's foggy, it's hazy. There's not a lot of clarity. So it's almost like you have to have faith that if you keep walking down that path, though it is dark and you're not really certain of the absolute outcome, from the Moon we transition to the Sun. So it's getting brighter. That's sort of what I get. It's having faith in the divine that they're leading you down a path for the right reasons. So you may have some hesitation or you're not certain about leaving something behind. Perhaps you're leaving the door open to revisit something. It's almost like you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket. I'm not necessarily saying do that, but by facing forward, by not focusing on the past, these are our thoughts, right? The swords. His body is faced forward, but his head is turned back. So there's apprehension of whether to separate from a business, a company, a job title, a position, something of that sort. It's almost like having faith that the universe is guiding you in this direction for a reason. So have faith that something is going to pan out, and whatever that is that's going to pan out, twice now, it's being presented as Ace of Cups. So again, you have that card twice, a very positive card. New beginnings that again will make your heart happy, especially in a career that utilizes either your creativity or your spiritual gifts. And then you have the Soulmate card. Soulmate energy, and again, how interesting, you have a card of healing. And I mean, I'll be honest, like sometimes this is not a great card. We look at that and go, oh, heartbreak, depression, anxiety, like it's not always positive. For a lot of you though, I think that, yeah, with the Empress underneath, I think that's the career you're going into. And again, it may have to do with the apprehension of leaving something behind that you're not really stoked to leave behind, but it's almost like this lack mentality of, oh, but it's so good, it's so comfortable, it's, you know, it's my everything, it's what I know, but you don't know what lies up ahead. Up around the bend, there might be something even better. Underneath that Soulmate card is a Virgo too, so some of you may have wedding bells, families, babies, celebrations. Again, it could be a collaboration, a team partnership, hitting some significant milestone with, again, it could be a Virgo or a water sign for that matter, Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces, lots of water here. It's fortuitous. It's happy. You have some kick-ass cards. So yeah, this feels like it could be something significant about finding your spiritual soulmate. So maybe that's romantic. Maybe it has to do with a collaboration that that was written in the stars. I like that. That's kind of a cool message. Again, not a lot of pentacle energy, but anyway, let's go back to this Three of Swords that came out initially, just for those who may be new to tarot. These are the same card, they're just different decks. And again, this isn't always a great card, but it's not always a death sentence by any means, right? I mean, Three of Swords, it's not 10 of Swords, right? But it is a card that does indicate pain or heartbreak or a need to heal, a need to grow spiritually, a need to almost like reset or recalibrate your mind, because with the 3, it's like an awkward number. Swords always indicate what's in our mental plane, our mind. So it's saying something is off kilter, something is unbalanced here. Some of you could be going to pursue a degree in psychology or doing something that would help people's mind, help them to like expand the way their viewpoints. And that doesn't even have to be necessarily the traditional or classic definition of spiritual healing, but you may work in groups of 3 specifically, or in partnerships and teams, and you open people's perception or their mind up to see things differently. A lot of this does have to do with like spiritual communication too. So some of you may be spiritual leaders. Maybe you work in a church, right? And maybe you're relaying messages of healing from the divine. But if that's at all an interest for you career-wise, if you haven't already started to go in that direction, you may want to consider start building that career, because it seems like you almost have the divine's blessing. The star is very much a card about connecting to divinity, being vulnerable, right? Your naked truth. It's about keeping one foot in that pool of intuition, of faith, spirituality, creativity, and the other is on land, right? It's solid, it's supported, it's stable. It's mixing the two in order to build the career of your dreams. So this is really the first Pentacle card that's come out. Not to say that Pentacles are the only cards that indicate money, right? But this to me is saying that it's in the works. It's going to be like a slow process. And that's sort of what I was getting from this. There are going to be delays. There are going to be obstacles. I mean, let's just call a spade a spade. We're in a pandemic, right? So not everything is just coasting right off. I mean, if that is your scenario, great. Maybe what that is what the Wheel of Fortune is saying is, it's going to be easier. Getting the ball in motion, getting the wheel in motion. Something is progressing forward in a very positive way. Again, there will be bits of celebration. You might be reuniting with someone that you want to work with or collaborate with. And yeah, I mean, I just have to be honest, I keep wanting to say it involves a career of healing. Healing hearts, healing minds, healing families, healing society, healing the collective, right? And again, working specifically with animals. Keep building that. If any of what I just said resonates with you, keep constructing that. Keep laying out the blueprints of it, right? Because there's something where it's like it's divinely guided. The stars have aligned for you to start building this. And I am sort of getting the time is now. You may be apprehensive or again feeling stuck or like the creativity isn't flowing. Well, that will not be the case very much longer. I think there will be sparks of creativity, and the way the water flows out of the cup, it feels like that's your creativity or again your spirituality. It's driving you in the right direction. Tell me, and look, that's the bottom of your card. So again, it doesn't have to be literally a doctor or a nurse. I don't know if you can see this because the light is so bad. There we go. Can you kind of see that? It's a nurse, right? It's a nurse tending to a child or to a baby or in an old folks home, right? You help heal people with your creativity, with your magic. It doesn't have to be with your stethoscope or your, x-ray machine. It doesn't have to be that type of healing, but there's something about your energy. And I get that for you all the time, Aries. You tend to be quite a spirited and spiritual bunch. So even if your healing power is just compassion, right? Empathy, kindness, sharing your warmth, your fire, your light with people around you. Yeah. Humor, storytelling, writers, using your words. The pen is mightier than the sword. Yeah, a lot of you may be doing peaceful protests. Like anti, what is a good word for it? I'm hearing like rebellion. You're trying to, like peaceful protests, laying down your swords, but expressing your truth in a very logical, very empowered, that's a good word, a very empowered way. But you're not fighting. You're not forcing your way in. It's again, you're trying to change people's mind in a healing way. Yeah, look at this. There's a sting to it. The idea of the jellyfish, and I know that's a contradiction, hear me out. There's something about what you have to say is actually very powerful. It actually does sort of needle and poke and prod people in a way that it does make them feel uncomfortable, but from that uncomfortability, that's where the changes can actually occur. Yeah, it's almost like I'm hearing you can't, what is that expression? You can't lead a horse, or you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. This is like you trying to convince the horse to drink. Do you know what I mean? I know that sounds silly, but it's like, you need this. Let me tell you why. It's good for your body. It's good for your health. You've traveled a long way. You need to re-energize. You're doing that almost like a life coach, like a spiritual life coach. You're trying to help people who are oppressed or underseen, victims of any type of circumstance in life. It feels like you're fighting to be heard and to be seen, again, in a peaceful way, because you want to bring healing to potentially a specific group, but again, also to change the way people view or think about this particular subject, this particular person. It could be race, it could be religion, ethnicity, anything of that sort. You're trying to cast a wide net. And I could sort of see how this message leans a little bit towards like a cult. And I don't think it's negative, though. I don't say that to scare you, but it's almost like a very different or against the grain way of thinking. I think it's for the betterment of society. Again, I think it has to do with healing the perception of something, but there's a very unique spin to what you offer. Yeah, spiritual leaders is what I'm getting for a lot of you. This may have to do with children, helping children specifically. You may work in like an adoption agency or like underprivileged children, who've like been in the system or don't have families. It could be like juvenile type or like juvenile delinquent type energy. You might be reaching out to help children, big brothers, big sisters, forming bonds and friendship with those who are sort of just getting by in life. Again, you're trying to like bring them healing or offer them a better life, even if it's just by, again, compassion and kindness, lending a listening ear. But also, it's more than just that. You offer something to them as well. Very interesting. Yeah, I'm getting the Hierophant. So a Taurus might be very key in this. A lot of you, I feel like you work either in a church or you work with a church, again, for like charity or donations or, yeah, like helping people. And a Virgo may play a role in this as well. A Virgo and a Taurus are coming through. In addition to, again, potentially an Aquarius. And didn't you have someone else? Yeah, you had Virgo earlier too. So some earth energy. Yeah, the planets are aligning. We have a lot of planets in retrograde right now. So everybody's kind of in a weird state, at least from my perspective. I know a lot of people are just going through it in different ways in different areas in their life. So yeah, all the more power to you if you are trying to lend a helping hand or a listening ear. You're going out and like, you may even be building a school or building, like a camp. Again, something like a shelter for people who can come with a common interest in like a commune, something like that. Very interesting. Some of you work with the elements, or you're like seers or astrologers. You also work with plants. You may have a green thumb. And again, animals. You're building some sort of business that draws, I'm sort of getting like bees to honey. It's like what you offer, essentially, in a sense, they need it for nourishment. I hate to use the word they crave it because it makes it sound like you could almost take advantage of them, like, oh, people need this, so I'm gonna offer it. It's not that type of energy. It's like, again, it's the kindness and compassion and the healing energy. I keep kind of circling around the same message. It's not giving me very much more, so I'm sorry about that. But let's try for one more message, and then we will move to love and romance. Let's try for some new messages for those who maybe didn't relate to that or only connected with parts of it. What other messages can we give to my Aries gang out there? I'm hearing music, something about musicians or healing music, leading yoga, or something where there's like spiritual music playing in the background. And maybe that's just you doing your thing, chilling by yourself this summer, just putting on peaceful music. Maybe that helps you connect to God or source. Yeah, absolutely. Meditating on the beach. And there's something about protectors too. So some of you may work in law enforcement too. You could be kind of, leading the charge on assisting in peaceful protests. Again, changing the perception of, officers, the armed forces. Because, obviously there's a huge backlash of that right now. You could do some sort of work where it's like, traditionally you serve to like protect the community, officers, firefighters. It could be something like a lawyer, like a traditional job that maybe through the years, the perception or the perspective on that has skewed more negative. And it's almost like you're trying to repair it in a very beautiful way. It's almost like you're trying to get people to meditate on a subject so they can unlock like their perception of the way they see it and try and see it through a new lens. through a new perspective. Also, as I say, lens. Photographers, people who work with cameras. It could even be something about, I don't know why this is coming through, but lens, like eyewear, eyeglasses, sunglasses, right? I'm not exactly sure what that has to do with, but that could be the logo of your business. That could be, I don't know, something you inherited. Maybe it's your grandfather's old glasses, right? You hold on to them. They're in a drawer somewhere. Again, little bits of confirmation for those who need to hear it, that you are on the right path. And again, working with animals, healing with animals. A lot of you may actually be working with another Aries in the coming months, or also a Cancerian in the coming months. Yeah, helping to heal people's anxiety and depression, to help bring them a sense of calmness, to smooth over rocky relationships. And it would be because you're passionate about it. I'm sort of getting like you're a trailblazer for a certain cause, and yeah, you're wanting to get people's attention. Not only that, you're trying to get them on board with your ideas. So, all right, pretty cool message. I don't really have anything negative to say. Is Three of Swords, I'm sort of curious to know, is for a lot of you, again, it's just confirmation about the healing, but is there a small disappointment coming up for... Overall, it's very positive. You have Ace of Cups, Four of Wands, Ace of Cups again, Wheel of Fortune, Three of Cups. Beautiful, beautiful. Three of Pentacles, the Star card. Like, I don't have anything bad to say. So, okay, clarifying any sort of disappointment with the Three of Swords, competition, conflict. It could be if you are applying to a certain position that is very, I'm hearing astute. That's not the right word, but people are in competition for it. Again, if you don't get it, it might be a blessing in disguise, because the way the moon tells you to have faith, we're steering you in the right direction. You just got to keep going. If there is a minor, I don't even think it's a rejection, but essentially if they choose someone else in the team over you, then take that as a blessing in disguise. It was never meant to be your position. You were meant to go and do something potentially individually. You could be doing a startup with a couple of your friends, or an entrepreneur type thing. Yeah, the only thing I'll say is if you are applying to a job that has a lot of heat, I heard, a lot of competition, yeah, there may be a blessing in disguise if you don't get something, and initially you're going to feel like you're trapped, like you're stuck, like the one thing you wanted didn't manifest. Keep manifesting, because again, you have multiple blessings coming in. A lot of you are meant to work on a team, in a band, in a group, in like a tribe of people. Like a spiritual tribe. And yeah, boom, there's your Ace of Pentacles. That to me is confirmation. If you feel like you miss out on an opportunity because they chose someone else over you, again, it's not a missed opportunity. It's helping you to course correct, to go after that little golden nugget that you were supposed to go after before. But maybe you got sidetracked. Maybe you got led in one direction and it didn't pan out. Have faith that it's leading you to the gold coin. And that's actually a good way to end the career and finances. There's the treasure chest, right? Like, just imagine what's inside, manifest it. It's almost like, what do you want to be inside of that treasure chest? Make it happen, right? That should be really great motivation for you guys. So that's a cool message. I like that. Let's look at love and romance. Here's where it gets kind of weird, because we're starting out with Five of Cups. Five of Cups is feeling a sense of loss or disappointment. Oh, some of you may have lost someone in your life that you love very much. And I never predict death on my channel. It's just not what I do. But again, that would be shouting out something that has already happened, and it's just acknowledging. A lot of you may have lost someone in your life. It could even be a pet, right? There is a sense of your heart is a little achy. It's a little bit hurty, or and this could be something that happened years ago. If you were very spiritually connected to a grandmother, a grandfather, or anything, right? Your brother, your sister, if they passed years ago, it's saying you're still carrying around some pain in your heart for them. You miss them, and you wish you could. It's almost like you wish you could go out for drinks and celebrate and talk about your life, and you're longing for a reunion. And I mean, certainly that could be a message of what's a good word for it? If you've broken up with someone, or vice versa, it's that you still think about that person and wonder if it was a missed opportunity, or you think about what could have been. But yeah, you may have been dealing with someone who is very selfish, or a bit of a trickster. Also a bit of a perfectionist. It's almost like they had everything in their life just so, and then maybe you guys met and fell in love, and they were like, I just don't really know like where you belong or what to do with this right now. And so it was like a, not bittersweet, but I think it was a frustrating separation, if you would all relate to that. So here's the thing. There is potential for a reunion with Judgment coming through, but yeah, absolutely. So again, this is kind of a tough love message if you're here for it. The one you're thinking about, again, if it's real life, 3D, if this person is still living, right, and there is a chance for a connection, it's very possible you guys still keep in touch. It's not, I don't think it's something that ended like, that's it, we're done forever, I hate you. No, because you're still thinking about them, right? You still have love in your heart for them. There's the potential for a reconnection with judgment, but I think you're going to see they really haven't changed their ways all that much. I don't mean to offend anyone, but I am sort of getting like a selfish energy where they had their eyes on the prize for their career or something they wanted. And again, like that, you can't fault them for that, except if you were looking for compatibility and love and you know, equality and balance, which every love relationship kind of needs to succeed, this person is still kind of in the same spot. So you, especially if it's a Scorpio, you guys may go as far to reconnect and try again. But I think in the long term, you're going to recognize it just isn't there for you guys. You want different things. It's not to say you couldn't still be friends. But yeah, 8 of Cups. I think Aries, you are going to end up realizing you may have put this person up on a pedestal, or you may have chosen to ignore the things you didn't like about them. And it's like with time, there was that longing of, oh, can't we give it another try? Can't we get together again? I think a lot of you probably will. Again, especially if you're on speaking terms. I think, you know, with all the retrogrades, that's when everybody comes back, right? I think a lot of you will give it another chance, but I hate to say it because it sounds so harsh, but I think a lot of you, it's going to be lackluster. And it's going to be on your part too. I think you're going to be like, yes, I want to try it again. And then you guys try it and it's like, you're not who I thought you were. Or the opposite. It's like, oh, like I've done so much personal growth and change, you know, while we've been apart. I hope you have too. And they really haven't. They have a very determined mindset. And they're very apt to kind of turn their back on you to pursue their own like individual, you know, pursuits, I guess specifically their career. So yeah, here's the thing. It's going to leave you at a bit of a crossroads. It's not to say you couldn't try and make it work, but just on what the cards are saying, if you guys relate to this at all, it's not leaving you with much to work with. So it would almost be more of a struggle or a burden, essentially going into a relationship hoping someone changes. That in itself is a bit of a red flag, right? No one's perfect, right? Everybody has little things that get under our skin, but there's a huge like lack of depth in what this person is able to give to you, like romantically or sexually or something like that. I think a lot of my Aries are going to choose to walk away, and Spirit is saying that's very like a very empowered stance to take. You shouldn't have to compromise tremendously to make this work. If your gut, if your intuition is telling you it's still not a good fit, give it more time, give it more distance. Things can always change, right? I mean, you have Wheel of Fortune and Ace of Cups coming out twice. So that to me says you may have new opportunities in love, especially if you're doing something with like a community project or a team where lots of people from different walks of life are getting together with the same common goal or interests or values, whatever that is. I think you're probably going to end up having more options there. Yeah, expansion. Yeah, don't live in a state of lack that, oh, this is my person and they were the only one I've ever clicked with. And, you know, it's not. It's saying expand your network, expand your universe. That's literally what the Wheel of Fortune is that we just referenced. It's Jupiter energy. Expansion, grow a wider net, a wider network, right? I think you're going to attract new love. And again, it could be working with another Aries. Have faith that this is not where it ends. Have faith as the Hierophant just keeps staring me in the eye. And that was coming up earlier too. Have faith that you don't know all the answers yet. So again, if you're being guided to go down a certain path, by all means do that. But don't get frustrated by the small disappointments, or it's okay to course correct. You're constantly growing and evolving and developing as a spiritual being. The universe is looking out for you. And quite frankly, it's almost like the universe has chosen you to become part of the team. As a light worker, as like a spiritual healer of some kind. Again, not everybody's message, but you could take that message and maybe translate it into whatever it is you're trying to build. Like the universe, your ancestors, your spirit guides, your angel gang, they're around you, they're rooting for you, and they wouldn't want you to settle for someone who doesn't give a shit, right? Do you know what I mean? Like you definitely want some effort. There is another message here too for those who have lost someone, again, either recently or in the past. I'm not predicting it. If you are trying to communicate with you know, that person or you know, ancestors, whatever it is, they're here, they're listening, they're watching over you. Some of you might literally be going to the grave site, you know, where they are buried, or you know, wherever. Maybe you scattered their ashes in the lake or something like that. They're with you. They're always in your heart. They're in your DNA. They're in your bloodline, right? But they're around you spiritually. So don't be afraid to open up and talk if you're feeling like you need to vocalize vocalize something or ask for help, seeking answers, pull your tarot deck out. They're right there with you, right? You will feel it when they're there. So anyway, it's trying, and I think this in a sense does have to do with you too. Some of you may be healing from a relationship with a mother, or again, a difficult or strained relationship, or just, wanting to heal something with a mother or a Taurus. A Taurus, a Gemini, or a Virgo is coming through again and again. Again. You have another Aries dancing around you. I'm not, and maybe they're literally a dancer. I'm not sure if it's a romantic partner or a business partner or potentially both, but there's an Aries that's going to come into your life, and it's going to have to do with, I think for a lot of you, it's going to have to do with expanding your business, but it could be like an advisor or someone you collaborate with. They're very either spiritual or very artistic, creative, very kind of vagabond gypsy type energy. But anyway. All right, guys, that's what I got for you. Please do like, share, subscribe. Let me know in the comments below what resonates. I will see you very soon for more tarot. Bye, guys.